Another season of the NBA on ESPN is underway.
Let's go!
Deep three. Tyler Hero. Oh, he hit it.
We have a liftoff.
Leonard.
What is going on, lovely people? We got the 76ers versus the Warriors. That's coming up at 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. This is Hoop Streams. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and the ESPN app. My name, Christine Williamson, and I got two friends with me, including a rookie, Treavor Scales, Nabil Karim. What's good?
He's a rookie, but he dressed like the vet. He got the J's memo and everything.
This is like, I went out and bought a whole new wardrobe for the show. I got the least cool clothing out there, and I'm like, okay, let me do some research. What are these guys wearing?
Oh my God.
I just feel happy to be sitting in Gary's chair right now. I feel more handsome. I feel a little bit smarter.
Yes, I'm here for it all.
Podcaster.
I'm here for it
My
all.
hair looks decent today because Gary's flow is so nice. Anyways.
No need to gas that.
You know I'm returning these shoes, by the way, right? The price tag's still
Going
inside.
right back.
Yeah. I paid $200 for a pair of shoes.
The last thing Gary needs is to be gassed.
Right,
now.
that's what I'm saying. That's not even necessary.
Like I said, we got 76ers versus Warriors coming up. Ros Gold-Onwude is going to talk to us about it. We're also going to get into some Steph Curry conversation and MVP combo. But before we get to that, we got to get a little NBA rewind in here. And we start with the best poster. Miles Bridges has been putting a lot of people on posters lately. Last night, Blazers, Hornets, and he did it again.
Sports Nation, check it out, ESPN Plus, just shameless plug there. But we talked about it last night. Platinum Plus membership. That is his Sky Miles actually status right now, right? He is residing 30,000 feet in the air with his propensity to dunk like that.
Yeah, he's doing it on a nightly basis. But the thing for me is, like, we've seen so much of the Hornets this year.
Yes.
When is the last time you've watched a Hornets game? But, like, this year, they're must-see TV with ball and now this. And, like, it's been fun, man.
Oh, no doubt. And then their broadcasters, too, are incredible. Like,
Yeah.
the calls themselves are phenomenal.
Yeah, you got to check in on them after games.
Yes.
All right, let's get favorite impersonation in here. So we got Nets Heat on Sunday. Check out Uncle Drew.
The dedication with, like, the mask
To wear it
underneath,
over the
right?
mask, right? I'm like,
I love it.
we'd probably get the idea if you had, he's got the wig going,
Right.
got the beard going, but I like it.
Hey, good for him for not doing blackface, too. He did it right. I want to applaud that. Can we not?
I'm out.
It's a good thing.
Oh, you're right. I'm out.
His parents were probably like, that's not necessary.
Correct.
It's true.
Good job.
Wow. Let's move on. Most hated.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
different sports center.
and Mo Harkless got into it. Things got a little chippy.
I like it.
I like when my skinny guys go at it, but here, let me tell you one thing. As a skinny guy, you do this at first, right? And then you walk away hoping that there's no violence after. Porzingis wants none of this.
No,
right?
Not at all. Not at all. 3-6 Latvia is there for looks, right? Like he's there to look imposing, but at the same time, look, I just want to focus on the fact that Nabil just claimed like the skinny delegation, and I just want to appreciate him for that.
See these legs, man? See these legs? She's a real skinny.
Is that what you do then, Nabil? You just go up to people and push them and then walk away?
Well, I don't do that on the street, but in my previous playing days, I played fake tough guy.
Okay.
I go in there for the quick bump, and I'm like, and then I walk away real quick, and like somebody
Hold me back.
hold me back, but not too much because you don't want to go too much because then someone might actually come at you. And then again, I'm skinny.
Fine balance.
And not strong.
Good tip. That's a good tip. All right, let's go to the most disrespectful. Cody Martin, Blazers, Hornets, CJ McCollum. Oh my goodness. Wait.
Cookies.
So I don't know if you noticed with the last play, CJ McCollum was involved, and he's involved in this one again.
I love the idea of just putting it on somebody's head. And CJ, I feel like you got to make better business decisions, right?
What was he doing there?
Just let that one ride, right?
Yeah. I know it's hindsight. It's easy for us to say, but like, he didn't even go make a play. Like he wasn't going for the block.
Right.
Then he was trying to get in underneath a little bit, but didn't want to get underneath him. Yeah,
Don't get caught halfway.
Yeah,
that's how you end up.
That's
Why-
a 50-50 ball, get out the way.
Yeah, like why even be there?
You made too
All
much
right.
money for that.
We talked about Serge Ibaka's fit last week. This week, best fit, belongs to James Harden.
Yeah, I don't get this.
A little tie-dye action.
I don't get it.
The gradient, you're not about it? The ombre pants.
Like I literally bought this outfit for today. This is my fit for today. This is as far as I go.
He looked like the Phoenix Suns court. It's just.
No, he looks like Rainbow Sorbet. I grew up on Rainbow Sorbet. I was that weird kid. When everyone else is getting like Oreo cookie ice cream, I'm getting
It's like,
Rainbow
nah,
Sorbet.
I want the
That's how you keep
non-dairy
that
option.
Yeah, that's how you keep that skinny look. And that's what he reminded me of when I saw him, and I'm like, is that something
Sugar-free
to say on
sorbet.
Hoopstream? I just did it because I don't know what else to say because I don't relate to that.
That's actually a really good flavor of sorbet. However, I will say this. His stylist, Kesha McLeod, also styles Serena Williams and PJ Tucker. And they're
okay.
pretty well dressed.
Yes.
Look
So
at you
in
with the
my
facts.
mind, she doesn't miss. So she's going for something here. Maybe some people just don't understand it.
Christine
That one was front rim. That one was front rim.
Came up short. Didn't get his legs underneath him.
I don't know.
Okay, let's move
Happens.
on to worst loss. Pelicans, oh my goodness. All they had to do was prevent
Not give up a three.
three-pointer.
Yeah.
They did not. This falls specifically on Lonzo Ball. This is what their coach had to say after the matchup.
I think some of it is young guys, not a lot of experience going down the stretch. But like I said, today, simple. High school guys could have executed down the stretch. The 7.8 seconds, high school guys could have done what they were supposed to do.
Hey, the beautiful part about like when pros get involved, right?
Yeah.
They have no shame in no. This wasn't a team loss. This was a you loss.
No, I like the tough love, man.
Yeah.
I like the tough love. That's the only way these guys are going to learn. He wants his team to rise. I mean, Lonzo would be a big part of it potentially in the future if he re-signs. Like, got to have tough love.
Yeah, no, the accountability is absolutely necessary. And like, let's not also absolve Eric Bledsoe from not like allowing that take. Like they were told that they were supposed to foul in that situation. Bledsoe didn't do that. Lonzo comes down on a layup that he has no business doing, and Reggie Bullock hits a three. Like it was everybody screwed up on that one, straight up.
Speaking of things that high school kids would not or be able to do, this is something that a high school kid most likely would not do, or at least shouldn't do. Biggest blunder. Trae Young, he misses the free throw, and then Domantas Sabonis goes and tips it in to his own basket.
I love that John Collins was on the sideline cheering for him. I hadn't seen that part before.
He was at a crucial point in the game, too, which is crazy. It's the fourth quarter late. He's having a great year. We got to put it out there. It was a great tip.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Unfortunately, it was on the wrong.
He was
buckets.
really, he was like, oh, this is easy. I've done that, not that specific thing before, but I have, when I played basketball in high school, in my prime, I dribbled all the way down to my own court. People
And nobody
were yelling
stopped
the
you.
whole
They just
entire
let you
time.
go.
Wait, so like
They were yelling and everything.
So what is your prime? Are we talking like 4 years old?
I was
Because
in
I'm trying to
10th
figure out
grade.
how
I was
you
in
did
10th grade.
10th grade, and you dribbled to the
No,
other
I
end
might
of the
have been
floor?
a freshman. I might have been a freshman. I stopped playing basketball in 10th grade, okay?
Adolescence? Like
This is why
you're
I
supposed
did not
to
play
know.
basketball in college. I decided to stick with volleyball
Oh, my God.
instead.
Because you had to
I
stay on
played
one
That's a
side of the
business
court.
decision right there. That's
a good one.
And there was no defenders on me because why would they defend me?
Great
They're
job,
like,
Christine.
breakaway, go ahead.
Baller alert.
Okay, let's move on to Coldest chant. This is cold.
Embiid hits a pair. 39 points now from Embiid.
Now, I kind of think that he actually felt bad about that, right? He's a little sensitive. Like,
I mean,
I feel bad for the guy.
I
He
did
didn't
too.
play.
He was like, well, I didn't even do anything. Why are y'all taking me out like this?
I feel like a little sensitive is an understatement. KD is very sensitive, and so I'm sure he was like, why are you guys doing this?
I mean, but also, like, if it's unwarranted, I'm kind of in the
He
same
ain't even
boat
in
as
the game.
KD.
Why are we talking about KD right now? Pay attention to what's going on the court. So a guy that's been doing a lot of amazing things on the court, Steph Curry.
Yes.
Chef Curry with the shot. Boy, take a look at all of the things that he's done in the last 10 games. 391 points, the most in a 10-game stretch by anyone 33 plus. 10 straight 30-point games, tied for the longest streak in NBA history. 68 made three-pointers. 39.1 points per game, 55% field goal percentage, 49% three-point percentage, and 90% free throw percentage. So that makes me want to ask, and we'll start with you, Nabil.
Yeah.
What has been the best thing that you've seen out of Steph in the last few weeks?
Okay, let's go back to Saturday. They're taking on the Celtics, right? It's this matchup of Tatum and Curry going back and forth at each other. Steph was ridiculous. We've seen some crazy shots by him in the past. We've seen some crazy shots pregame. This one is in-game, and he's taking this three-pointer, gets fouled, and gets it to go. Like, I heard on Twitter, it's like,
so
oh,
good.
He's so lucky. No, he's not.
Right. He's done this enough times where it's like, no. There's an element of skill in this mess at this point.
If it's Steph Curry, it might be purposeful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, and like, the worst part about it is, like, he was completely flailing. It was unnecessary.
Right.
And you still make it, you get it to go.
He's
like,
shooting 50% from three in the last 10 games. One or two of those are going to go. It's ridiculous, like how well he's shooting. But like that moment for me was like, whoa, like this guy's
Insane.
so dialed in.
Yeah, no, it was absurd. Like, now, I touched on something being completely unnecessary. Steph even coming into the game in the fourth quarter, the game where he was about to set the record for single game three-pointers, also super unnecessary to the point where his coach told him, no, sit your behind down. We're up 40. There's no need for you to come in and get any more than you already have at this point.
I kind of feel for Steph in the moment too. Because, like, listen, he wants that record that Clay's got.
Yes.
He wants to come after that.
Yes.
I know him and Clay are buddies, but that's a little jet. You know?
But I mean, hey, look, the point has been established. Look, we done had way too many injuries for you to be out here risking any more minutes than you absolutely need to. So, like, just sit down. We up 40. It's the fourth quarter. No need for that.
I love that he also just thought he was going to sneak on by and nobody was going to like
just go to the scorer's table. I'm actually going in. Coach doesn't know, but I'm taking it.
We put you here for a reason. Sit your little behind down. Okay, so one of my favorite things is the fact that Kerith Burke, a reporter for the Warriors, she tweeted and she asked Steph to do an airplane celebration. And what did the guy do? He saw it at halftime. And he did his airplane celebration. Like, the guy is just having so much fun at this point. He doesn't even really need to he's just living his life.
Yeah, no, this is the definition of you do what you want when you pop it. Like, he just, whatever he daggone well pleases, Steph gonna do it. In game, out of game, whatever.
Hang on, so athletes are now taking our suggestions. Is that what we're saying? Like, they're actually listening to the media so we can throw things out. Like, hey, can you do this for me? My son's birthday's coming up in a couple weeks. I'd love it if he kind of gave me one of these.
Get like a piece of paper that says, like, what's your son's name?
Adam.
Like, yeah, happy birthday, Adam. As soon as he busts a three in somebody's eye, he just got the cardboard
Drop an
sign
A or something.
Right,
just something for Adam. Not a big deal. Whatever you can do.
If you got the time.
So another one of Steph's top moments was 5 years ago against the Thunder. It's called the Double Bang Gang. If you don't remember it, let's take a quick walk down memory lane.
February 27, 2016, affectionately known as the Double Bang Game.
Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
I just remember going into that game, I was like, this is a matchup that I want to see. This is the best of the best, top of the Western Conference. Let's see who want all the smoke.
So heading into that February game, the defending champs were a ridiculous 52-5 and chasing Jordan's Bulls for most wins in NBA history. The Durant-Westbrook Thunder, who were hunting their own return to the finals, weren't exactly impressed.
Durant guarded by Iguodala. Durant drives and finishes.
Now the haters will say if KD hadn't fouled out in OT, who knows what would have happened. But what unquestionably did happen is Steph going miracle mode to win the game. A moment that was perfectly captured in the broadcast booth.
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! With 0.6 of a second remaining.
When I go back and listen to it now, my first reaction is, who is that screaming fool?
Hey, look, I'm telling you, Mike Green with that is just an all-time classic.
He appreciates where he is. He feels a responsibility that comes with being where he is.
Well, I got a little drip in my game too. Bang, bang.
You want to be excited, you want to be passionate, but you also want to be measured. You don't want to just completely lose it. So you try and and stay strong but professional in the moment. But sometimes a play happens where it's almost like you have an out-of-body experience and you become this crazy fan. And that was one of those cases.
The brilliant shooting of Steph Curry continues. And he ties the NBA record with his 12th three-pointer of the game.
Steph Curry made 402 three-pointers in that 2015-16 season alone, and for a career, he is streaking towards 3,000. But none more singular than this buzzer-beating brilliance.
I just love that he could have dribbled maybe one or two more times to get to what for the rest of the NBA is a reasonable distance. But he said, no, I got the cash to pull up as soon as I cross half court, and just cashed in on it. It was amazing.
Crazy. And you know what's kind of nuts is that we kind of got robbed at some of these moments. I feel like when KD went over, and it's not a bad thing that KD, it was a great experience. It was cool. The storylines were awesome, but he had to share the ball a lot more. And now we're starting to see, especially these last 10 games, come on, of what we kind of missed when KD was there.
Oh, no
and
doubt.
he didn't get as many looks.
No doubt.
I mean, the thing about Steph Curry, too, is he just plays so loose.
Yeah.
Like, he's just so, like, he's noodly. It's just fun to watch.
And everybody in the building knows he's going to shoot.
Yes. Right.
And he still gets a shot off and gets it in.
Also, Chrissy, we're not going to let you get away with doing the waving, flailing
I just, like,
arms.
whenever I watch him, he's just like, he's so, like, loose. And you just,
Can we meme this?
every single time, there's at least one thing that I do. Yeah.
That's a tough one to come back from.
Steph's great. Steph great. We all know it.
Is this you getting repeatedly dunked on by your friends because of lackluster sports knowledge?
Let your brother Stephen A. Smith come in here and help you out a little bit. Start your day with Get Up at First Take. Feel free to use our takes and shame your friends.
Get up with us at 8 a.m. Eastern.
When your sentence starts with, I agree with Dan Olaf, you're wrong.
Followed by First Take at 10 a.m. Listen, you're the guy. I had to teach you this. Giannis is the best player in the world. 4 days later, he's number 5 because I kept telling you he can't shoot.
And remember, always do the dunking.
All right, Christine, yeah, so that stuff from Steph is unbelievable. It's things we haven't seen since his unanimous MVP season, and I don't think he's had a 10-game stretch like that, even in that run.
He hasn't.
Right, so with that, let's open up this MVP discussion for the NBA right now, and it's been a weird year courtesy of all the injuries happening.
Yeah, you have so many high-profile players, so many stars in the league that have been out, but it's been a great opportunity to see some of these other guys rise.
Without question. So who do you have then at the top of your MVP ladder at this point?
I got to go with Nikola Jokic, man. Dad bod God, bro. Hey, one reason, we're both skinny fat guys. So you got to stick with your skinny fats. But no, seriously, man, you look at one player that can do it all, the best all-around player in the game.
Right.
You can make an argument that that's Nikola Jokic right there, because on a night-in, night-out basis, this guy can do it from all over the floor. I love watching him pass the ball now.
Yes. Now, what will hurt Jokic down the stretch here potentially is the lack of Jamal Murray. He's only had one game without him. He had the Michael Porter Jr. step up for them on that
Aaron
roster.
Gordon will
right?
come in once he gets more comfortable.
Absolutely. That is a potential for that to continue to rise. But what Nikola depends on is the idea of him facilitating an offense that is at the top of the league. I don't take anything away from him, but if you had me rank them, I'm going Joel Embiid ahead of him, only because of what he offers on the defensive end of the floor. Right. Now, Nikola Jokic is averaging 1.5 steals per game, I believe, which is great for him. But what Embiid does consistently on that end of the floor, known as a rim protector, and then you couple that with the 30 points per game and how he is essentially the man in that Sixers offense, that would sway me ahead of Nikola potentially. But he's been out for quite a few games, as we talked about the injury thing.
That's true, man. 18 games. And for Embiid, though, when he is dominant and when he's healthy, he looks kind of like Shaq down low at times, right? And now we're seeing his Hakeem Olajuwon game come out, right?
The dream shake.
And so he said he has been super dominant this year, and he has been. So it's tough because it's like a 1-2. They're both really good. But
absolutely,
for me, still at the end of the day, I'd probably take Jokic if I had one center to pick for one game.
No doubt about that. Now, if we move into that 3 slot, I think we had this discussion, and it plays a lot into the narrative of the injury discussion.
All right.
James Harden at 3.
Yeah.
It is undoubtable that what he means to that Brooklyn Nets offense is unparalleled, right? Like when he sets foot in there and he is the point man, he is able to facilitate to both Kyrie and Kevin when they're available and has now the second most triple doubles in Nets history. So his case is undeniable, but he's played 4 minutes in the month of April, Nabil. So like, how can you make that case for him?
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I think if this was a month ago, you could put him right there, maybe even a little bit higher, but you're right, he hasn't played them. I was just so impressed by the fact that he comes over to this new team and he fit in like this, right? And we knew how good he was in Houston, but we didn't know how he would be in Brooklyn. And he's got to share the ball a little bit, got to learn his teammates. He did that so beautifully. And to see when they all get together, it's going to be something else. But I thought his transition and what you said with the triple doubles, and I mean, I thought it was incredible. But he hasn't played a lot recently.
No doubt. And I think you talk about dad bod guys, like he might be in that category just right there with Nikola. He's close, right?
I don't know. Sometimes he looks like, he's put on a few pounds, he's a little chunky. And then other times you see him on the court and he's all swift. So
He just layered. That's all it was. He was trying to get up out of Houston. In at 4, what do you have? I think I'm going to go Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I'm with you.
If we kind of talk that out, right? Like I think it just becomes who is the best and biggest part of their respective teams. And it's undeniable that the Bucks don't go without Giannis.
It's true. And with the Bucks, they kind of lost a little bit of shine this year, which I think is actually a good thing for them, right? Because they always had so many expectations with their team over the last few years, being such a good regular season team. But if you look at Giannis's numbers, they're still ridiculous.
Yeah.
And when he gets into that open court, forget about it.
Right. No, and couple that with the idea of the narrative surrounding their team in that they're great in the regular season, but when the postseason ends up getting cracking, everybody locks in on Giannis because they know that's all you have to do. Now he has the likes of Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton stepping up in a major way. Hopefully he can get the shared help that he needs in order to kind of continue down the line of the postseason that gets rid of that cloud hanging over his head. I loved your pick at 5 when we were talking before this show, and I hadn't even really considered it. But Damian Lillard coming through for the MVP case, I cannot deny that whatsoever.
Nobody gives this guy any love.
Yeah.
And we always say that. That actually has become the narrative. We don't give him, well, let's give him some love.
Yeah.
Look at where his team is at. Look at the injuries that they've had. And this guy continues to produce. If he's playing in an East Coast market, maybe a bigger market even on the West Coast, we're talking about this guy all the time.
No doubt. Look, you're down CJ McCollum and Yusef Nurkic 25 and 32 games respectively this season, and they are still in the 6th seed in the West, right? Unbelievable job by him for just carrying that team. And I think it was Bron who tweeted it out like around the All-Star game time that like Devin Booker and Dame Lillard were the two most disrespected people in this league, and Dame Lillard has a case for the MVP courtesy of the disrespect that he's been given. And like he's just, again, keeping that Portland team afloat when they had no business being in the conversation, it feels like.
No doubt. And again, if they had some of those guys who are a little more healthy, they might be a little higher in the standings. And his case for MVP might be a little higher too.
You know what? Like, and Steph would probably have a better case too if the team surrounding him was better, right? Like, I think that he suffers from that sort of storyline following him.
Yeah, his team's in a play-in position right now.
Right.
And he's having this incredible stretch. He looks like he's 25 again. You know what I mean? But like the fact that he's playing so well, it's hard to keep him off that list. But we don't have LeBron James on this list. And LeBron James is the best player in the NBA, all right? So let's forget about it. Like, this is a flawed system, the MVP. LeBron James is the best player in the NBA. But we don't have him on this list.
On a year-to-year case, you got to make the case for individuals based on the team surrounding them and what they're doing on the run to the postseason. But all that to say, Steph will get his flowers eventually, but we will still enjoy this matchup for tonight for what it's worth.
You have a guy like Ben Simmons who's up for Defensive Player of the Year. You have Joel Embiid who at times leading for the MVP.
The 76ers are the best team in the East right now.
Can't you see? Don't you know what I am? I'm a man with a plan, and this time you understand, right?
The elephant in the room is that the Golden State Warriors are going to be a part of the play-in game.
I've never seen a shooter greater than Steph Curry. This brother is the greatest shooter we have ever seen. Period.
Curry way downtown. Bang!
Walking highlight.
You can argue this is the best stretch of basketball he's ever played.
Curry flipping it up and in, and now into the record books. The most points ever in Warrior franchise history.
Nights like tonight make it pretty cool.
Simmons bursting in, he throws down 2.
Every game is important for us. We try to not take any teams lightly.
Joel Embiid coming up large.
Take one game at a time, get to the playoffs healthy, and try to win the whole thing.
That's That's right. We got the 76ers versus the Warriors. 76ers at the top of the East. We got Steph Curry, who is at the top of the West himself. But we are going to talk about this matchup with our good sis, Ros Gold-Onwude, joining us. So good to see you. And we've been talking about Steph this entire show because the dude is cooking. That's what he does. Are we taking this man for granted?
I wouldn't say we're taking him for granted. I think anybody with eyes could tell that we're watching excellence. And lately there has been a conversation like, should Steph be in the MVP convo? I don't know that Steph will win MVP this season simply because the overall team success usually matters in that narrative. But could you ask, is Steph the most valuable to his team? That's possibly a yes. I think the answer there is either him or Damian Lillard for the players carrying the biggest load to keep their teams afloat. Like without Steph, the Warriors lost by 53 to the Raptors, who aren't having their best season. And I really think it's important also to point out that Steph has achieved incredible individual success with a roster full of all-stars and superstars. And he continues this season to be captivating with a roster that does not have superstars. So people have asked, is Steph, a system player? Honey, Steph is the system. And I think you really need to recognize that because, this is not a juggernaut Warriors team, but Steph continues to deliver and just became the all-time franchise leading scorer.
No, and Nabil and I were talking about the burden that Steph and Dame carry in order to just kind of keep their teams into the conversation. But aside from that, when it comes to Steph specifically, you had the opportunity to cover these Warriors. What sets him apart with regards to what he does outside of the white lines that we see on a nightly basis that gets him to this level of excellence?
I mean, first of all, I'm so thankful I had the chance to be the sideline reporter for the Warriors and catch, some of Steph's greatness. It's something I'm going to tell my kids about. Like, what I remember is the way Steph scores. And I think that that's actually a disadvantage for the Warriors this season in a year where there aren't really fans in the arena because his threes feel so big. I mean, they're so joyful. It's contagious. They're creative. They often come in a flurry. So it gets the whole arena involved and it feels like an avalanche for the other team. And it can really change the momentum of a game. I'd also point out Steph works on his game in a way that's specific to him in that, he'll work with lights or tennis balls to check his reaction time, see how quickly he responds. He works with attention to his body type. He's not the biggest, but he likes to say he's wiry strong. So he's not just a three-point shooter. He can get in there and finish, and he pays attention to touch and then style of finish. And finally, Steph is very mentally tough. He has often talked about how he finishes out quarters and halves. That's why you often see those big momentous threes and big shots. He's a really nice guy, but Steph definitely has killer instinct as well.
Yeah, he's changed the game for generations to come, the way kids play basketball. Now you see they're all shooting from half court and doing Steph-like things. What about Joel Embiid? We were talking about him earlier on the show and where he kind of ranks in the MVP conversation because he should be right up there. Where do you have him?
Yeah, I heard you guys earlier in the show. I saw you had Jokic as your number one.
I did.
Absolutely. All respect to Jokic, he's definitely deserving. I think he's in the top two for me. I mean, by default, he has played the most games. The finesse, the skill, you can't argue with a 26-point, near triple-double average. But the Denver Nuggets started off slow. Now Murray's injury, they may finish slow. We'll see. I got to say the number one for me is like Trevor. It's Joel Embiid for me. He had a strong start to the season, then came out of injury, continued to be dominant. This is a career statistical year for him. His efficiency while shooting, his ability to get to the free throw line. Let's not also forget the fact that he has a legit Defensive Player of the Year candidacy. I mean, this is a guy who's playing on both sides of the ball, and he's got his team at the top of the East. Joel Embiid is probably at the top of the MVP list for me right now.
So Sixers at the top of the East, Embiid at the top of your MVP list, and the Sixers are atop the ESPN power rankings in the NBA right about now. After big W's against the Mavs, the Clippers, and the Nets as well. Do we have them as the best team in the NBA for you, Ros?
That's a tough question. I mean, I feel like it's either the 76ers, who are number one in the East, or on the West, the red-hot Suns, who are right on the tails of the Jazz right now, especially with Donovan being injured, that I could say today, who are the best teams in the NBA, right? But it's really hard to say because there's too many injuries to players who are so significant that once they come back, I mean, it will change the entire landscape of the league. So, you know, a fully healthy Nets or a fully healthy Lakers squad, you know, could easily be the best in the NBA. So it's a tough question. But if you said today, who are the top 2 teams in the league or the top team, I would say it's somewhere between the Sixers and the Suns right now.
So with that answer, I feel like I know your answer to this question. You got the 76ers, who are at the top of the East, possibly one of the best teams in the NBA. Then you got the Warriors, who are at number 9 in the West, looking at a play-in situation, but they got Steph Curry. He'll be playing tonight. They also have Kelly Oubre tonight. So who do you think is going to win this matchup?
Never bet against Steph. All right? It's a primetime game on ESPN.
Hey.
You better be tuning in. Steph going up. We getting a 40-point game from him. And we better be entertained. So I'm going with Steph and Curry. I've learned never to bet against them.
Okay.
Wow.
That's good advice. That's good
Love
advice.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. Don't bet against Steph. All right, Ros, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Period.
Let's go.
All right, guys, that game right now, 7:30 p.m. If you're watching on the app, then basically sign in right here and watch the show or the game right here. And we'll see you. That didn't make any sense. We'll see you guys. I saw your face, Trev. We'll see you guys next week.